probably one of the most important in terms of your success of attracting people. I still come from the days of putting up posters in running shops, and I think if I were to return, I would still do that and probably still allow paper forms to be mailed in with cash, with cash preferably. Remember those days? Those were the definition of the good old days. We'll take cash. But social media is certainly the key to getting the word out, to leveraging what you're doing. And I know at TBI, at the Triathlon Business International session last week, I was hearing terms that I'm clearly unfamiliar with because I don't have to be. But the Race Director, it was one of the most engaging sessions, and I think that this session will be phenomenal. And so I welcome up here Alex Ross, Director of Digital Marketing at Colfax Marathon. And I was just telling Alex, I remember when the Colfax Marathon started 14 years ago, I had a half marathon that was in almost direct competition with it that I was hired to do. And it was, I didn't think Colfax would survive. It was a horrible first year. And now they have 20,000 people doing this marathon in Denver, Colorado. Hugely successful, and the marketing has been phenomenal. Rory Graham is Digital Marketing Specialist with Access TV, also in Denver, but we spoke yesterday and is certainly really, really knowledgeable in this subject area. And Stephen Myers, the Content Manager for USA Triathlon. And if you followed, I know you all do, the social media of USA Triathlon, it has gone to a whole different level, thanks to a whole team at USA Triathlon. And but we're much more engaged, much greater content, and really hitting the right subjects and targeting the right people. So you want to talk about, we'll start with you, Rory, your experience, your background, who you are, and what you can offer?
Sure. All right, so should I just grab it and move it? Hi, so my name is Rory. I work for Access TV, and that's up in Stapleton. I'm a digital marketing specialist. I'm a part of a team up there. So I do this every day, social media guru, if you will. And I also have experience in promoting athletic events. When I was in college, I worked for the CSU athletic department, and so I used social media to try to get people to come to individual games and things that we had on campus. So yeah, that's a little bit about my background. And
Alex.
Yeah. So Alex Ross, so live out in north of Denver. So Colfax is actually not my full-time job. By day, I actually am in the corporate world, so I'm in the world of product development and creating more software products. So came on with Colfax about 4 or 5 years ago. Started moving the budget away from Google AdWords to more paid social media campaigns. And so also head up our ambassador team. We have a team of 40 runners that each year we put out applications, and we get 200 to 300 of those, and we get emails and phone calls. So we do a little bit of the social media, but we also tap into the human part in the grassroots movement. As far as our said, we're up to now 20,000 runners. I think we've added 5,000 or 6,000 just over the last 3 years through a lot of these new social media and marketing campaigns.
Stephen.
Hi there. Yeah, it's Stephen Myers. I'm with USA Triathlon, the content manager. Wear a lot of different hats, but we do the social strategy for USA Triathlon. The guy who's filming right here, Nick Heeman, is the guy who interacts with you on Twitter and Facebook and is actually the one writing the tweets and everything. But I also plan content for our magazine and our website. And prior to USA Triathlon, I was a journalist for about 7 years, working for daily newspapers here in Colorado and in Idaho. And I joined USA Triathlon last July. And in my previous life, when I was a reporter, I wrote feature stories on sports and outdoors. And my favorite stories to cover always involved endurance sports in some capacity, coming to you guys' events and highlighting your great athletes and your great events. And I'm fortunate now to be able to be in the space of promoting such events.
Alex, I'm going to take a little bit of a detour here, if you will all allow me. And You mentioned an ambassador program,
Yeah.
and I don't think I looked through the agenda really quickly, and I don't see that here. So I'm going to take 3 minutes, no more, because last weekend I heard a lot about the success of ambassador programs, and we certainly see those. We see Newton has ambassador program, I know, and lots of events do. What's been the success of your ambassador program? And if I have an event that has 200 to 400 people in it, a triathlon in Middle America, should I even think about an ambassador program?
Absolutely. I think, in the big part of the ambassador program, it's really about getting out into the community and understanding directly from the community what they're looking for in an event. So like I said, we have 40 people that are on our ambassador team. They get an entry into the race, and then there's a list of criteria that they have to do. So they have to promote on social media a certain number of times. We feed them a lot of that content. They're going out to different events in the community at running stores. They're going to running events. They're in races. We provide them with gear that has our brand on it. So they're out there traveling around to different races around the country and talking about our race anytime it comes up. So they're hearing it directly from peers rather than from this event saying, come to our event, we're awesome, we're great. They will then go, today's age, go and ask a friend. And the more we build that network, every year we try to, 80% new people on that ambassador team. I've seen a lot of teams where it's a lot of the same people over and over. And really you want to reach new people. So you want to really keep getting new, fresh audiences into that ambassador program because they all have social media reach as well. They have some kind of influence is what we look for when they fill out that application. It's, we have some people who were, co-producers for the film Fat to Finish Line. We have people that have 12,000 followers on Instagram. And so it's another way for us to, at a grassroots level, reach new people.
So, yes.
Yep, good question. So as from a spend perspective, we are actually partnered with Adidas. So Adidas actually sponsors our ambassador program. So it's another way to get sponsors involved with your event as well. So, Adidas will provide a certain amount that we use on gear, shirts, shoes. And then they're also out, now they have an ambassador team that's also out promoting their brand as well. So from a spend perspective, we're really utilizing the sponsorship relationships to do that. For Colfax, we don't specifically have codes just because we're a nonprofit, so we don't do discounts and codes. So from a tracking perspective, it's really more that getting the word out, the grassroots. And we can see over the last 6 years we've had the program going from 14,000 runners to now 20,000 runners. It's been a very big part of the increase in participation.
Kerry.
I'd love to hear how USAT has found that their ambassador program has helped as well. I know they launched it maybe last.
Yeah, our program has been remarkable. Steve, you want to chime in a little bit?
No, you got it, Tim.
Your Rios, who I work with very closely on that, started the program. We had 43 ambassadors last year. We're going to move to 86 this year. What we were able to do, number one, is create a pretty tight system of assuring that the people that we choose to be those ambassadors have met basic criteria and can present messaging that is really critical. The stories that they tell is about their own personal journey into triathlon and with triathlon. And then they're able to add what it is that USA Triathlon does, why we exist, what we do, what the sport's about, why it's such an amazing sport, the passion that people have in it, and all these wonderful things so that you walk away from a room you feel really, really good. Now we collect these names, right? We know the people that are in the rooms that we're speaking to because that's part of the process that our ambassadors go through, okay? And then one of the things that we're going to do this next year, and Chuck can allude to this, is we are going to create relationships with a couple partners, and that's going to add some of the additional swag that we're talking about. It's going to add additional messaging. It's going to expand to reach the extensions that we really need for the sport by having these partners also work with us. So one of the things we're going to do this year is try to measure the impact. Is those people that were part of that presentation,
You know, if you put together an ambassador program from a cost standpoint, it also opens up the door to go get maybe some new local sponsors, giving them that. You're always looking for that engagement. How do they activate their sponsorship other than putting them on the website or putting them on a T-shirt? This gives them an opportunity to tell you what, you could be our official, ambassador program supporter for the first year, and all you gotta do is provide, a couple things. Chuck?
Yeah, and I would say we're really fortunate to have our corporate partner Active, one of our partners that we're going to be putting an ambassador team together. So Eric, maybe not to put you on the spot, but maybe you can talk about the value as a brand that you see with an ambassador.
I'll punt to my vice president of marketing for that.
Good morning, everybody. So I oversee all of our marketing here at Active, and I think most of you are familiar with our Active.com, which is our consumer property. And so what I'm hoping through the partnership with USAT, the ambassador program, is actually working locally, more grassroots with the race directors, the folks that are here in this room, identify those influencers, identify your local folks and athletes and others that can really help grow it. Not only on social media, but also how do we represent them on all of our channels that we own and pay for. So, for example, we get 24 million visitors a month on Active.com and ActiveKids.com. I don't know if most folks actually knew about ActiveKids.com, but that's the kind of reach that we can help offer, and that's where I think, again, strength in numbers, but having the right folks that are sharing that kind of right message is what we're hoping for. Does that help?
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so that was more than my 3-minute detour on ambassador program, but I think it's really a great opportunity if you're not doing that. And I guess the point I wanted to make, Alex, was it can be effective at a small, you don't have to have 20,000 people doing a marathon.
Correct.
Yeah, so
no,
it's
yeah.
local, grassroots.
Yeah, and to kind of touch on what he was mentioning, it's making sure you're choosing the right people is very important. And we make it very clear when people apply, we are going to social media stalk you. We make sure we have the right people, because while they may be a great participant in your event, you want to make sure that every day it's not some political rant that they're doing on social media. So when we talk to our ambassador, we say, you are now representing this brand. And so we need you to be aware of your tone and what you're posting online, because you now are an extension of it. So yeah, you don't need a lot of
There
people.
goes my opportunity to be ambassador
Yeah,
for Colfax.
sorry. I'm sorry we keep declining your
Okay.
application.
So, Rory, there's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's a lot of other stuff, Instagram, et cetera, et cetera. What does one focus upon in social media as a race director trying to get participants and participation?
Sure. You mean which
Yeah,
sort of
which platform?
I was just talking to a few people about this. We have run into a massive issue with Facebook recently, in being that if you are a company, the algorithm has now cut off a lot of companies' content. So you'll still see company content, but it's after you have already gone through all of your friends and all of their pictures of their children and the new car that they bought, right? Then you start to see the BuzzFeed quizzes, the tasty videos, where they're making food and things like that. So we have actually run into a massive issue with Facebook in promoting, doing advertisement posts. Now, that's okay, because Twitter didn't do that. Twitter's algorithm is still kind of good to go, and they won't shuffle your things all the way to the bottom. So I honestly believe that Twitter is a very important tool, especially because of the use of hashtags, which Facebook doesn't utilize as much. If you start your brand with a hashtag and you keep that from at the very beginning when you start to promote your race, all the way through race day, that's huge. Because the more tweets that are on there, people will be like, oh, this is legit, this is a cool thing, And the more people that tweet with the hashtag, people are like, what is Colfax Marathon? Let me see that. And then they'll go to your page, and then they will see more of your content. So I would say, and that's also with Instagram. Instagram also is very hashtag heavy. So I honestly would push for more of Instagram and Twitter. I don't know. I guess my question to you is, can I ask, in this room, raise of hands, does anybody have Snapchat? I mean, personally in general. Okay, that was a little bit more than I expected.
On race day, we activate it.
On race day, you activate it.
Wow,
So-
that same question, by the way, was asked last week, and it was much less.
Really?
This is much fewer people on Snapchat.
Interesting. Okay, well,
What did you expect?
I was expecting a lot less people. I thought it was more of my generation that was using Snapchat, and by the way, I'm 23. So I didn't know if it was like, you know, the college kids kind of a thing, and so I didn't know. My little sister. Yeah, hey, my dad right there, he snaps me every
Bruce
day.
Dunn is very
We've
hip.
got a streak
He is
going.
very hip.
Yeah. So the point is, I used Snapchat at CSU to promote our events. So we would have, you know, the CSU Athletic Snapchat, and my job as the intern was to show everybody how cool the event was. Make you wish you were here. Next time, you're going to make sure that you're there because this was so cool. So, and that's why I love Snapchat. So those are the 3 platforms that I would personally choose. And you can actually use the same story aspect on Instagram. So Instagram is kind of the best of all 3. Yes.
And the 3 platforms we should be on is Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram.
That is my personal recommendation. You know, definitely if you have a group, I think Facebook is very important. When you're pushing ads from Access TV, from what we have experienced, I mean, we've had to...
Demographic at Access.
I'm sorry?
The demographic who watches Access.
It's a good point. We are a boomer network. We do a lot of rock and roll. So
And you use Snapchat to get through.
that was more at CSU when I was promoting athletic events at CSU. So it's very different. And that's why I thought Snapchat, because it really, you can promote it anyway. So you can definitely use Facebook. We have just, our numbers have crashed over half. I mean, no one is seeing our posts. We did the analytics. I did this with my team before I came here, so I could tell you this. Only 2% of our audience actually sees each Facebook post. 2%. So we have to go crazy on Facebook to make sure somebody is seeing it, because if we don't, I mean, we post 8 to 9 times a day, 7 days a week. And even then, our numbers are half. So you're welcome to do Facebook. I know there's so many people on Facebook, but I'm just really concerned if you're doing content ads, if you're paying for ads. I'm telling you guys, Facebook is a little rough.
Alex,
So that's interesting. 8 to 9 times a day on Facebook? Okay. We usually post on Facebook organically, probably 4 to 5 times a week. And then we do a heavier focus when around certain events, whether it's the Boston Marathon, because we're a BQ event. We just had a price increase on Wednesday, and one of our half marathon actually has the guys from the firefighter calendar on the course. So we have great pictures of them. And so we did a Facebook targeted campaign. We paid $60 for the day of our price increase. We targeted only females, 18 to 60 in United States and Canada, and we reached 29,000 new people by doing that. So we saw an increase of page fans by another 700 people. We had a lot more conversions from that. So I think it depends on your demographic, and so everybody in here probably already has a profile of their average runner. We know for us, their average age is 34 years old. It's their first or second race. So we have the kind of that criteria, and the nice thing about Facebook is you can put that in there, and it also promotes into Instagram as well, because the big monster still owns Instagram. But we haven't done a lot with Snapchat. We're trying out now paid stories on Instagram, seeing that we're getting a lot more traction in stories. So I think it depends.
Sure. Sorry, can I clarify something
Absolutely.
really quick? So the posts that I was talking about, those are not all paid advertisement. I just wanted to make that clear. That's all that's our content. That's just organic that we're trying, and so that's what organic posts look like for us. Our ads are different. I mean, but we definitely pay the price. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Stephen, I just want to put you on the spot on one question. You can pass the mic really quickly, but I've heard a lot about Facebook Live, and I see a lot of people going on with Facebook Live. They're live now, blah, blah, blah. Any comments on the use of Facebook Live? Are we doing that? How do you do it? What do you recommend? How effective it is, et cetera? And then each of you can also chime in, Alex and Rory.
Yeah, no, Facebook Live is a great opportunity that you can use both pre-race, during the race, and post-race. And so I'll just kind of break down, different ideas on how you could use Facebook Live. Say you have a price increase or price decrease, price increase, whatever it may be, promotion. Get the race director, get you guys on camera, talk about, hey, we got these initiatives coming up. Our race, our price is going up at this time. Register now. Also, it puts a face to the race director's name. People get to know you. You can do a walkthrough of your course. What's new at your course this year? Take us on the course, show us around. And then during the race, you could designate somebody to follow along the race and provide live race coverage of your race. Is a good way to use Facebook Live too. And then afterwards, just getting scenes, getting people crossing the finish line, getting people as they get their medal, just showing the excitement of your race and having people engage with you on your Facebook platform.
See, I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you able, if you do that, are you able to edit the Facebook Live later?
No.
Okay. Is there a way to do that? I'm talking about taking best of.
Yeah,
So if you're doing all this live stuff during the event and then post event, because I come back to Rory saying, you want people to look and say, wow, I wish I were there. I'm going to be there next year. Can you then
can edit the caption? Yeah.
edit?
You can download the video.
You can download the video.
Yeah, you can download the video, but live is live.
No, live is live. But
Live is live, but post, right? You can choose to post that live event to your feed, or you can download it, edit, take out snips. So, I mean, it's nice because, if your event has photography and videography, this is a nice way to get maybe a little bit more candid that you can pull out. Mm-hmm. And I feel like audiences nowadays want more of that. They don't want the scripted professional videography. And I think Instagram's been a great example of that, is people want that more candid in the moment and not feel like they're being sold something, which is just kind of, I think, the behavioral trend. Yeah, please.
Also, the best thing about live is that unless you, as a user, have turned off the notification, you will be notified when somebody goes live. And by default, on Facebook and Instagram. And so that's just brilliant, and that ruins all I said about Facebook. But then that's just perfect because it's right there. And like you said, once the video's up, it is up there. So you can definitely rip that down, make a highlight video. Shameless plug for finishline.me, highlight video. Okay, So anyway, that's definitely possible.
Where's question?
John has a question. Do you use your personal or an event account for that?
I would use an event. You would create an event profile on all of the platforms that I was sort of talking about. With of course, you can have your picture and do a little about me sort of post, and that would be honestly better, but.
It is where the ambassador program comes in handy because they can do the hashtag and they can also tag you in their event, their post. And so now you're getting better results because you have other people are doing it and it's not just broadcasting from the mountaintop, so to speak.
Rachel.
So what I'm hearing out of this is, so Facebook, I use Facebook all the time. So I think what I'm getting out of this is that we might have to just take our approach to two different sections. Okay, we want millennials. We're not on, I have two kids that are in college. They're like, I'm not on Facebook.
Yep.
They are sometimes, but they're like, it's Instagram. They even have Instagram when they don't want you to see what they're putting up.
Exactly.
I think everybody's heard of Insta. Insta. It's like fake Insta. We advertise on that. And then, so I think what we have to do is take like an approach that, okay, we're going to try to attract our new millennials, and this is the way we're going to have to do it this way. But then there are a lot of our athletes that we've had that are, our generation, maybe a decade younger, maybe a couple decades older.
Yeah.
So you got to take a two-part approach, I think.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think from an efficiency standpoint, you can post on Instagram and automatically post to Facebook. So from a efficiency and a process perspective, you can do it from one place. But you're right. You have to understand who your event participants are and who you're trying to attract.
So there's nothing wrong with posting There's nothing wrong with posting the exact same content on every single platform.
I think you can do it yourself. If you are already posting on Facebook and Instagram, you can do it from your own event. And Facebook's pretty good about walking you through. I mean, if you post something on your event page, your company event, it'll ask you to boost it. If you clicked on that button, it'll walk you through creating your audience. What is your budget? How much are you looking to reach? I mean, even starting with 20 bucks to do a campaign, we probably spend, I would say, $400 a month on our social media campaigns, and we're reaching 80 to 100,000 people a month. And we know it's effective because we can see the click-through, we can see the demographics of who is interacting with that ad, and then if we start seeing like, wow, our demographics are shifting, we can try out new content, you know, and reach more people. So I really think I think you can do it yourself, is my opinion. I don't know what you guys.
Stephen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to build off of that a little bit about talking about boosting posts on Facebook. You can throw as little as 10 bucks at a boosted post and see results. And what we have had success doing, say we're promoting AGNC, it's in Cleveland. We can target geographically. So we can set a radius at 150, 250 miles of that Cleveland area, and we want to hit people who have liked on Facebook cycling, triathlon, running, whatever it may be, and then we can hit a certain age demographic as well. And so we do that for all of our championships, trying to hit people, 150 miles from Greenville for do nationals. And like I said, you can spend as little as 10 bucks and have reach that Alex has alluded to.
Does it? I've looked at that stuff, and it does walk you through, as Alex said. Does it then also show you those details on click-throughs after? It does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, so you'll see click-throughs. You'll see if you have a video. You'll see how many people watched the video, how many people watched only the first 15 seconds of that video. So you get some pretty granular stuff, and it makes you, as the millennial generation now knows that they don't want to use Facebook because they know that data is being tracked, and it again leads to this: I'm being sold something. So you do have to be aware of that, but yeah, the data and the analytics that you get from those campaigns are super powerful to influence what you do next.
Andre.
We have no success with Snapchat at all. We just don't have that age group. Facebook still are number one for paid ads, and Instagram too. So they're all together. But we do 3 posts a day on Instagram, 5 posts a day on Twitter. That's the goal. Which is the results on Twitter are not that good. After Trump, Twitter kind of people are there for politics and not for sports. And Facebook, we do paid ads all over the nation. Depends on the event that we have. Some of the events we want to attract nationwide athletes, and some are just local. In regards of the ambassadors, we have 40 ambassadors that cost us nothing, because we get sponsors from ambassadors. For 2019, I got EMC to pay for cycling jerseys, bib shorts. I got Veloce to pay for the tri-kit. I got 361 shoes to give a pair of shoes to each ambassador. And all the ambassadors have to do is hashtag us and repost every single post. So you see 40 ambassadors reposting 3 posts a day. You end up all over the place. So if you go on your Instagram and just go on search and just look at the post on search, you will see, I see posts of our races all over. I see in Seattle people reposting our races. I don't even know those. So it's working. Now for 2019, and very few people in the United States know this, but WhatsApp, and it's a great tool for marketing. So you can, so you can, so you can put a number, you get a number, and you can have your athletes text it, and automatically they'll receive the weather for the day, the rules of the tri, the distance. So it's all automated. So we're
On WhatsApp?
Yeah, it's a very good system. It's funny that
I know WhatsApp really well. I didn't think of using that.
people don't use that much here in the States. And the way I learned is because we had some events in South America, and I was impressed that everyone raised their hand text that number, and they received the water temperature, the winds, they received everything through a text. So you're not texting the athlete. The athlete is actually texting you, and he receives everything back. So it's something that we'll start applying on our first race this season and see the results of that. So, and the ambassadors, please. It's a free marketing. It's free exposure. You know, we have these beautiful kits that they wear. And in regards of Facebook Live too, if you guys have an extra iPhone that you can put at the finish line and just leave it there. And it's live. You don't have to do anything. Just leave that thing hang. Buy a tripod and leave the iPhone there.
But make sure your security personnel know that it's part of the race organization ahead of time. Yeah, yeah. That's really interesting. And again, on that ambassador program idea, Miami, your events while you have some smaller events, you're a larger company. I just wanted to again come back to whether that can work for a 400-person event, and I think it can. But this is the beauty of this forum, is now you can talk to Andre about WhatsApp, which is what I'm going to do at the next break, and ask how to use it that way. But Lance.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about which platforms to use based on age in generational swings, but I put on cycling races, Bruce, you do too, triathlon, cyclocross races, and it's based on the type of athlete too. I get no engagement from Twitter from triathletes, but a ton from cyclists. Cyclists are weird. Facebook, complete opposite. And then with cyclocross races, it's Instagram. So it's based on the type of athlete you're trying to reach too, not just based on age.
Great observation. Yes.
I was wondering if there's any best practices for how much percentage of your total revenues as a business you should spend on marketing, and then how much should be print, how much should be Facebook boosted ads versus an actual ad campaign, or boosted posts versus ads, and just kind of giving us as an industry some, what are the best companies doing and getting good success with?
Yeah.
Do you have any thought?
Well, the CEO of Colfax Marathon's here, and I'll let her talk about budget later. But generally in corporate world, I mean, it's 20% budget a lot of times is what the focus is. But I mean, you can scale that up and down. We do print, we do posters. We still hang up posters. We still do a brochure that we hand out. And then we do, digital as well, from Google AdWords to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So I don't have a specific percentage number that we leverage.
Sorry,
Or
I feel like 20% is so high. Like if your race is bringing in, say, $100,000 of revenue.
Sure.
If you're spending $20,000 on marketing, you're not going to have enough money to produce the race very well.
Well, sure.
So I think, in the fitness industry, our rule is 3 to 5%, which seems like it would be more realistic for this industry.
Yeah.
But maybe not.
I'll let Andrea. Do you have a comment on that?
We're probably, for Colfax Marathon, we're probably close to the 5 number, 7 and 5, it's hard to say. But I think you also have to think hard about where can we trade. So for me, it's very hard to value using trade with television and that type of thing. So if you factor that in, if so, I'm probably up at the 70% number. So it kind of varies. But I have to say, at the end of the day, I always tell people, we're zero-based dollars in marketing. We spend really low dollars in marketing compared to any other consumer industry. And that's why we have ambassadors who do so much for free. And that's why we have a radio trade and some things like that. So I think we're all in the same boat. We're trying to spend hardly anything on marketing. And but I think right now, if I had to guess, we would probably closer to that 5, maybe 7, depending on how you factor it in time.
I was going to ask Christine if you had any comments on that. Maybe taking off your active hat.
Definitely off my.
All right.
I'm hearing a couple of questions about cost and how do you allocate resources. So a couple of things I would do. Things you can do for free today. Use Moz, MOD.com. The best way to just expand organically within your own market is using Moz. Run a quick site audit of
Dog zebra? MODZ.
No D.
We were wrong.
Okay.
So with that, and I think two things I always ask my team to do when we spend advertising dollars. One is omni-channel. We were just having a challenge. How do you bring all the different platforms together? We actually find swimmers. Swimmers, women, if you want to attract those folks, they're huge on Instagram and Facebook. We see them all the time. That's where they interact. That's where the water cooler is. So if you want to engage with that type demographic, so omni-channel means you have to look at paid or free across all of these platforms. Facebook, WhatsApp, we use also Instagram, we do Twitter. And by the way, Twitter, if you want to get decent reach, you want to at least have 5 hashtags. That's the general rule of thumb that we have. Well, 5 hashtags gives you the reach that you're looking for, and try to reach hashtags that uses not tied to your own event, but something that the industry uses. Okay? And then last is, instead of looking at budget, think about your return on advertising spend. So I fight with my CEO all the time, right? I can tell you that for every dollar I spend, I get $300 in return.
300?
300. So exactly.
Yeah.
Right, because I could convert that into, so again, back to your goal of where do you want to spend your money, right? So if I know that certain channels are converting, meaning actually not just click through your ad and look at your Facebook, that's great. But if you're trying to grow your registration, grow your business, you want to ultimately tie that back to your registration. How do you do that, right? So that's your return on advertising spend. If I could spend $1 and get $300 in return, there's definitely a diminishing return at one point, but you don't know that until you test it. So if you're spending $100 a week or a month or whatever, is that enough? You don't know, right? Because if you're just basing it off of your cost, you're not necessarily getting your full return, right? So I think testing, being patient with it, but think about return on advertising spend as a better measure. So maybe all you need to spend is a couple $1,000. But if it gets you the return on several hundred registration, is it worthwhile? Chances are, yes, right? So those are the two things I would think about in terms of omni-channel, and then what's your return on advertising spend? Because right now we're probably about 300% when we do paid digital, based on the channels that we believe are most optimized, based on the personas we're talking to, demographics, how they're spending, and there's a bunch of intent data that I won't even get into that you can actually predict where they're going to be. I know it's a little big brother, but that's already exists. So, yeah, if you want to start targeting people, we can talk all day about some of these. I get nerdy, sorry.
Yeah, keep going. So,
Let me ask you a question. So do you help out?
Yeah.
Do you help out your race directors, event producers with that?
Yeah,
So you'll go through and do an assessment of their event and help them with their spend?
the folks that are in the room that are, so love to talk to you guys all offline. And so we could do some, for example, if some of you are going to run USA, even come to us, we'll help you do a free website audit today. Just having one of our marketing specialists.
What?
We mentioned it.
mention again, I'll call on you.
The free website that we have with my hosting, it is still the largest lead generating channel that we have. It's just like your own website. Having a proper web presence, having the right search engine marketing and search engine optimization, just by using something like Moz to help you get there without spending any money at all. So we're happy to help.
Eric.
Eric, don't try to add to that. That was good.
Yeah.
Paid spend is one element of your marketing plan, right? And you have to be strategic. Don't just be throwing darts at the wall and spend and think they're going to get the result, right? By the nature of you all paying existing race directors, that's athletes from prior years. That's your initial audience, right? Before you start spending money, build off these campaigns with that audience, and then from there localize, right? Because from there you can start ending and ending. So every time you start spending $1, you're more and more and more precise with every additional dollar you do, right? So it's great to spread, on every channel, but if you don't have a game plan of what you're trying to achieve with each one of these, you're going to make your audience dead and make your message mute. So be careful with all that.
Thanks, Eric. Yes.
To build on what Eric and Christine were saying, within Facebook and doing the boost
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, this is for Christine. I was curious actually about the lookalike modeling, and I know in general with lookalike modeling, the idea is not to overlay attributes and let the model and the algorithmic engine do its work, right? But I was curious, what have you found if you let the models run and they've been successful? So everyone is like, you're uploading your existing base of participants, and then Facebook will create a lookalike model, and then it'll score on signals of those individuals and create a model for you. But I was just curious, are you then overlaying your runner, your triathlete, like, or are you just letting the model perform?
So both, actually. So this is where, again, there's a lot of different technology that are available now. So on top of your own lookalikes, and we actually start to look at ideal customer profile, is what we would call ICP. And this is where you start to figure out, okay, for your race, who are the people that you really believe are the right target audience, right? What do they look like? I'm talking about where they spend money, where they are looking for things, what are the listing services that they may be looking at, what are the actual affiliate networks that they may be searching in general. So those are the things that we're starting to look at from an intent perspective. So I know that somebody's, I'm not talking about like, but if I know if, let's say for example, our community side of the business, if somebody is looking for camp software or before after school program, there is an intent data somewhere, and I can actually leverage that. So I know you may not be thinking about active, but I know that you're looking for some kind of software. I can figure out a way to reach you. So there's a bunch of different elements in there that can help. Again, I'm not preaching about spending a lot more money, because I can't, I don't, but I have to be smarter about what I spend, and that's one way we're doing that. So on average, we're still below, we're at 0.8% of an average spending dollar. So I'm getting 300% return, but I'm spending less than that 1%.
Bruce. Yeah, two suggestions. I don't know if it's still the case, but if you spend any money on Facebook, they have a rep there. And so we literally took advantage of that. I think we 6 phone calls, 45 minutes each. They walked us through best practices. I don't know if Facebook still has it there, but it was invaluable. And I thought it was a spam call. I finally called back. And she happened to be a marathoner, and she really knew our business. And it was amazing help. I mean, just spent all this other time. And then the other thing, we're using word swag. I don't know how many people use that, but it's been amazing. Now some using our Facebook posts, and it's called word swag. What does it do? You should look it up. It basically, I'll let somebody else. It's a lot more. Y'all use it?
I assume it's a word bubble or just a word scraper, or?
No, it's it uses it for text and stock photos. So. Your own photos, word swag, it's amazing. So that's amazing the way people.
All right. So we need to wrap up. Andy's going to come up and tell us where we're headed. Now, I just want to first mention before we thank our panelists, having Christine here, Vice President of Marketing for Active, is huge. I had a chance to spend time with her last night, so you've already gotten a taste of what's there. There are other active people here who are awesome, but make sure you tap the people you hear who you can see have some talent here, and certainly these three do. Rory, thank you. Alex, thank you. Thank you, Stephen, very, very much. Thanks for all you do. And again, they're going to be here all day, so again, tap into their knowledge. Thank you very much, everyone. Andy Horn, thank you. Great job.